In the silence of the desert night, where the winds carry whispers of forgotten tales, the heart of a poet beats with a rhythm that cannot be chained by time or crown. Fazza, the name that moves like a falcon's shadow across the endless dunes, stands not as a ruler alone but as a dreamer, a seeker, a man whose verses are carved into the very soul of his land. He looks at the horizon and does not see only the fading sun or the rising moon, but the story of love and longing woven into the fabric of sky and sand. His heart, restless as the desert wind, searches for the unseen, the eternal, the beauty that lies beyond mere sight. Each word he writes is not ink but fire, not sound but music, not a poem but a prayer that falls gently from his lips like dew on thirsty earth. He writes of horses that carry the weight of loyalty and the speed of freedom, their hooves striking sparks on the stones of destiny. He writes of falcons that soar higher than human ambition, symbols of vision, pride, and courage. Yet, within every verse, there lies a deeper secret, a tender melody of love that humbles even the fiercest warrior. The desert becomes his canvas, the stars his witnesses, the moon his confidant. And in this vast silence, his words take form like roses blooming on dry sand, defying impossibility, declaring that love is stronger than the scorching sun, greater than the shifting dunes, wider than the endless sky. He speaks of longing, a love that is not bound by place or time. It is a flame carried within his chest, a light that guides him through storms and solitude. His beloved may be unseen by the world, but to him she is clearer than the brightest dawn. He sees her reflection in the shimmer of oasis waters, in the flutter of palm leaves under a soft wind, in the distant glow of twilight when heaven bends low to kiss the earth. His words become a bridge, carrying her name across distances, weaving her presence into every verse. Each poem is a journey toward her, each stanza a step closer, each metaphor a hand reaching through eternity. Fazza's poetry is not only for love but also for the soul of his homeland. The sands of Dubai are not silent. They carry the memory of ancestors, the strength of Bedouin hearts, the courage of men who rode through storms with nothing but faith in their souls. He writes to honor them, to remind the world that greatness is not built only in towers of glass and steel but in the resilience of spirit, in the loyalty of blood, in the dreams carried generation after generation. His city rises high, but so does his heart, for he knows that true greatness is to lead with love, with vision, with the gentleness of poetry and the firmness of steel. Yet, when the world sleeps, when the city lights dim and only the stars remain, the poet within him awakens. He no longer speaks of kingdoms or falcons, but of a single face, a single smile, a single love that makes the universe seem small. In the silence where we left off, the desert still breathes its golden hymns and the poet's heart continues to speak without pause. For love cannot be measured in verses and longing cannot be confined in limits. The journey moves forward like an endless caravan. Each step a word, each dune a stanza, each horizon another prayer of devotion rising from his soul. Fazza walks with the rhythm of the desert wind, carrying the weight of dreams, his heart aflame with verses that belong to no one but the beloved. He knows that poetry is not a choice but a destiny, and so he continues to pour himself into words, weaving tapestries of longing and beauty that reach across time and space. The moon becomes his companion, a lantern of silver light guiding him through the stillness of the night. It listens as he whispers verses into the air, carrying her name like a secret treasure. Each whisper is a thread in the fabric of eternity, binding his soul to hers in ways unseen by the world. The stars burn with approval, glittering like diamonds scattered on the robe of heaven, while the dunes bow gently beneath the weight of his footsteps. His poetry flows, wide as the ocean, endless as the desert, never pausing, for his heart has found its rhythm in her memory. He writes of her eyes, comparing them to dawns that rise gently yet command the sky with brilliance. He writes of her smile, a light so powerful it outshines the sun yet soft enough to soothe the darkest nights. He writes of her presence, which is like an oasis in the wilderness, where thirst finds relief and wandering hearts find rest. And though the world may never fully see her through his eyes, He knows that in his verses she will live forever, eternal, untouchable, perfect in the sanctuary of his poetry. The horses appear again in his song, galloping across the vast plains of destiny. Their manes fly like banners of freedom. Their hooves strike rhythms that echo the heartbeat of the earth. They carry not only the poet but also his longing, racing toward the horizon where he dreams of her waiting figure. The falcons rise above them, their wings slicing through the sky like verses written in air, their cries sharp as declarations of love. All of nature joins his song, for love is not his alone but the pulse of creation itself, the truth hidden within every breath of life. The sea too becomes a part of his poem, endless waves crashing like emotions that cannot be tamed. He imagines walking by its shore with her hand in his, the salt air mingling with laughter, the waves carrying their secrets far beyond sight. He dreams of nights where the tide sings lullabies, where the moon paints silver paths upon the water, and together they walk upon them, stepping into the mystery of forever. Each line he writes becomes a wave, rising and falling, but never ceasing, for the ocean of his heart is eternal. In his solitude, he speaks to God, thanking the Creator for the gift of love, for the beauty of longing,